TFNN. The Tom O'Brien Show is produced every business day after the market close. Tom takes your phone calls from 4 to 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time using the data available at that time.
Let's go to Fred in Denver. Hey, Fred, what's going on?
Hey, Tom, listen, it's an honor to speak to you. I wanted to tell you, I'm one of your successful tigers, and the reason that I'm successful, I probably read a couple hundred books on technical analysis over the last 10 or 15 years. I'm a retired public school teacher, and I heard you talking today on your earlier show that if you really knew what you were doing in this business, you probably wouldn't have to work again. And I wake up every morning, I look at your book, I can tell you, every other author is just pales in comparison to your clarity. I just wanted to thank you.
Oh, I really appreciate it.
Now, Tom O'Brien.
Welcome, folks. This is Tom O'Brien of TFNN. We go 5 days a week. We go 2 hours a day. We go 24 hours a day on the internet at TFNN.com. Always remember, folks, whatever you think about, you bring about. Whatever you focus on grows. Hope everyone had a great new year, kicking in a great new year. Let's make it a great one, a safe one, and a lot of thinking, a lot of growling and prowling. And that's where it's at, folks. Let's take a look at one of our 4 agreements. Create new agreements based on respect and love. Take the responsibility to make new agreements with those you love. If an agreement doesn't work, change the agreement and create a new one. Use your imagination and explore all the possibilities. The bottom line, folks, you can make any type of agreement you want, make it work. Market-wise, let's take a look at it out here. We had the Dow up 179, Nasdaq up 43, S&P's up 19, gold contract up $38, trading at $1,605 an ounce. Silver up $1.74, trading out at $29.61 an ounce. Platinum up $30 at $1,431 an ounce. Copper up 8.5 pennies at $3.52 a pound. Light sweet crude up 4%, $4.20, trading out at 103.04. Bonds down 1.5 at 143.13. King dollar down 59 ticks at 79.20 at 79.92. You have the euro up 116 at 130.50, and the yen down 26 at 76.64. Our phone number is 877-927-6648. Give us a call, folks. I know what's going on in your world. In the world of the S&Ps, let's take a look at them. What do you have? Okay. We got to 1284.62. The October 27th number is 1292.66. It wants to hit that baby. We did out here a volume of 733 million. You still got no juice behind the move, which is normal. 854 rather right now. When I say normal, you know, day after New Year's. Bottom line, Dow Industrials, what do? Just what we're figuring they do. Get over that high. So right now the Dow gets up 179. You're at 12,397. That October high was 12,284. Okay, so what does that mean? Well, I suspect what the Dow wants to try to do is, number one, get into the July 21st high. Now you have the lows of the high and the high. The lows of the high, folks, are 12,566. Okay? Now, let's go over to the NASDAQ Composite. So, Composite, what do we have? Composite is up 43 bucks. Composite comes in with a volume of 1.6 billion. Now, what the Composite's done is this. The Composite has quite a way to go to get into this October 27th level, which is the 2753. Right now, you're at 2648. Now, the lows of that day are 2694, which is only another 50 bucks away. We did have 43 today. The NASDAQ, bottom line, also wants to get into that level. Now, let's go to the small caps. First, we'll do the Russell 2000, Russell 5000, no, Russell 2000, sorry. We'll do the Russell 2000. And I'm actually going to pull up, first I'm just going to pull up the actual indice. So the indice today got to 759.37. The high out there is 769.46. If we go to the small caps, the I shares, the IWM, what you're going to see is this. The IWM got to a high today of 78.60. 75.87. We did 58 million shares. The 58 million shares were pushing into 58 million shares, which was the last swing high on December 5th, which it closed over. The October 27th level, which is 76.97, it didn't make yet. So what that sets up, folks, is this. Now, the Russell, the IWM didn't hold its highs out here. But you know what? It actually went into that swing point of December 5th with volume, didn't hold price. When you do that, you go right back up again. So the small caps are telling me flat out, you know what? The 76.97 is going to get tagged. We go back to we'll use the SPY so you can see the correlation. The correlation of the SPY today, we did 173 million shares. We got to a price point of 128.38. Last swing point out there was 178 million shares. A little lighter than that. You're going into 393 million shares. Now that baby also still wants to get tagged. It's deviant, but you know what? Bottom line, it wants to get tagged. So when you start putting this all together, what I expect you're going to see is this. You're going to see the Dow Industrials make a run for the, between the 12,600, yeah, 12,600, another couple $100. I don't think it will get to those highs. Where I'm going with both of them is the lows of the highs. As that's happening, what you'll see is that we go over to the S&P. You'll see the S&P make that run for, that's got about another 20 bucks, 92. It's not that far. 77, 87, 97. Yeah, that's only 13 bucks. You get 15 S&P points to get into the 1292 level. The composite, more than likely, just as it did today, came out pretty quick. Okay, 1.67. That's the percentage that it was up. The 3 Qs inside the NDX 100 was what was putting juice inside the NDX 100 today. That was up 44 bucks. You had Warner Chilcott, Micron Tech, Research in Motion, Teva Pharmaceutical. Taken out of it was SanDisk, Vertex Pharmaceutical, Microchip Technology, and O'Reilly Automotive. When you go over to the Dow, it's, well, not just the Dow. Yeah, well, the Dow in particular. So check this out. Inside the Dow, we take a look at the Dow out here, and what you had with the Dow is this. Putting juice into it was Chevron Corporation, Caterpillar, IBM, and 3M. Taking it out was McDonald's, Verizon, Travelers, and Kraft Foods. Now, if we go over to the food business, we go to McDonald's first. What you're going to see here is this. McDonald's MCD. McDonald's goes from a price point of 101.59 today, closes at 98. And McDonald's basically had gone nonstop, folks, from $84 all the way up to this 101. Now, McDonald's come off the high with volume. So that sets up, number one, we'll see how we hit the 97 market, a 97 price point. But McDonald's can now, well, actually, the first swing point is at 96, 98. But the way that came off with volume, that's saying, you know what, McDonald's going to get itself a decent pullback. If you go to Panera now, let me do Panera first. P-N-R-A. You go to Panera bread. What do you have with Panera bread? That comes down $5 today. What did that do? Last time we had gapped up on the 26th of October. We got to 138.58. Did 2.8 million. You got to a higher high with 400,000. Takes off downtown today. Closes at 136.19. Now, when you close at 136.19, folks, what you've done is you've closed inside the bar again. That's saying Panera is going to go for the gap. There's a gap that's wide open that's dangerous. The top of that gap is 118. So that's a big number. SBUX. Let's go over and we take a look at Starbucks. Starbucks also came off the highs with volume. 6.4 billion, a million rather. Starbucks is at 45.28. Now, the difference with Starbucks is this, is that Starbucks is coming into the day of strength November 4th. The setup is not as bad. Now, when you look at Panera, when you do look at McDonald's, what I suspect you had there, number one, is that you had portfolios that had been up big time. They pushed those equities out. They want to get into something else. It's going to be wild watching how this whole thing shakes out. Let's go over to the financials. What do you have with the financials out here today? The XLF, what does it do? It goes to 1347. The high, that benchmark high out there, is the 1417 area. Really, it was up 34 cents, but it didn't hold price. It got to a high of 1347, closed at 1334, but you know what it did, folks? It was pushing into that swing point with volume. That's saying that the financials are also going to be right back into that $13.47, working on the 1417 area. The XLE, we go to the energy market. We take a look at energy. Energy today got to 71.40. The XLE did. You're coming into 31 million. You did 23 million. That also didn't hold the top of the price, but that also will push right back into those higher levels. Now, what is it all about? Well, we know what it's all about. Good old King Dollar. King Dollar's giving the market some breathing room. What does King Dollar do? King Dollar backs down 58, does it with 19.9 thousand contracts. What you're seeing here, folks, is that you're building, first off, you're pulling back with dramatically lighter volume. You know, we're pulling back into 24,000. You're pulling back into 35,000. Now, I suspect the dollar is going to get down on this leg somewhere around the 78.25 to 78.60 level. That's a big drop. That's a big drop from here. We did 58 cents today. That's basically about another $1.50, $1.20. That will also let the market move higher. The way the dollar pulled back flat out today is saying, however, you're pulling back, you're doing it with lighter volume. What that is saying is that you're building cause for higher price. We go over to the bond market. We take a look at bonds. What bonds did out here is this. Bonds were down 1.5. You did 191,000 contracts. Those bonds also are building cause for higher price. Bonds pull back into 333,000 contracts, 400,000 contracts. And when we talk about something high and tight, this bond chart, folks, is high and tight. We're at 143, and that baby looks to me like it's going to basically run into about 160, which is going to be a total mind blower. The shorter term setup is there. Market wants to basically run. It wants to run into that 1250, 1292 area. A longer term, what you have out here when you pull up the S&P, the SPY, whatever you want to pull up, what you have flat out is the lows that were established out there in August, the lows that were established in October want to get hit. So we get a trader's paradise out here, folks. That's the bottom line. Our phone number is 877-927-6648. Give us a call, folks. Want to know what's going on in your world. And the world of the markets, folks. You had the Dow up 179, Nasdaq up 43, S&P's up 19. We're going to be right back.
X-Story Gold Mines, an NYSE Amex-listed company trading under the symbol XG, is slated to be the newest gold-silver producer in Argentina. X-Story is forecast to produce more than $250 million in bullion annually, beginning in 2013, at a cash cost of less than $200 for each ounce of gold produced. That forecast will make X-Story one of the highest margin operators in South America and a sector leader in the mining industry. X-Story has $50 million in its treasury, having spent